Hello, good evening. This is News Tonight here on GHOne Television with me, Awisi, Dede, Djangay. Let's take a look at our headlines tonight. And tonight, CCTV footage showing supposed meeting between lawyers for petitioners seeking to remove the Chief Justice and judges goes under the microscope. And also in a bulletin, suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo makes first appearance before committee investigating petitions for her removal. Vice President Professor Naana returns to the country over a month after seeking medical care in the UK. The chiefs in Western region demand stringent laws to arrest and imprison persons who sell cocoa farms to minors. And in business, producer price index inflation drops to 18.5% in April 2025. Details as AGI attributes decline to improve microeconomic conditions.
Whenever there is improvement in the macroeconomic environment, it brings confidence, it brings stability.
Details of these and many more coming up shortly. Stay with me. Grateful for joining us on the bulletin. The news is coming to you live from our Platinum studio here in Accra, and it's also streaming live on Facebook at GHOne TV. To our biggest story for tonight on Insight. But tonight on Insight, we analyze CCTV footage showing a supposed meeting between lawyers of petitioners seeking the Chief Justice removal and judges on the committee investigating the matter. Well, let me break it down for you. This CCTV footage has become relevant because it is the basis of another petition for President Mahama to dissolve the committee investigating petitions seeking the Chief Justice removal. My colleague Emmanuel Ejabin is with me, and he's on the research desk. He joins me in the studio to bring us up to speed on what is happening. Emmanuel, briefly, tell us, what is the detail of the petition?
The petition, the petitioner here is Alfred Kumi Abebiu. And on the dates, on the petition, the date you're seeing there is the 19th of May, 2025. Now, there is no official stamp from the Jubilee House, but there is a signature affixed to the petition that shows us that it was supposedly received on the same day at exactly 4:13 p.m. So the petitioner is Alfred, the petition's date is 19th, and then it's supposedly received on the same day at 4 p.m., 4:13 p.m. Now, what is the context of this whole petition? Now, in the petition, the petitioner alludes to the fact that given that the president decided to follow constitutional processes in looking at when it comes to removal of the CJ or not, a five-member committee was set up. We all know two justices of the Supreme Court, the former Auditor General. We have a representation from academia, from the University of Ghana. We also have Daniel Yaw-Domelevo, who is a former Auditor General as well on this committee. Now, there is communication indeed that said that the whole process began on the 15th of May. That is the understanding we are getting in that particular petition. Now, the petitioner says on the same 15th of May, two justices who happen to be part of the committee probing the petition that was brought for the removal of the Chief Justice, two justices of that committee, as well as a third justice, were in a strange meeting that very evening between the hours of 7:30 p.m. to 8 to 8:30 at a restaurant in Accra. Now, the petitioner says, let's take note of this. We are putting it in full context. He says that they were seen having dinner. The meeting as well is strange. So if we'll get to the CCTV footage pretty shortly. But that's what the petitioner is saying, that they were there. That is Gabriel Scott Poman, Adibo Siedu, and then a third justice of the Supreme Court, that is Yoni Kulendi, they were seen having dinner with one of the counsels of the petitioners who petitioned for the removal of the Chief Justice. And the counsel here is Thaddeus Sori. So he says these justices were meeting with Thaddeus Sori to discuss what he says, the context, and even the petition that is going on. So the very four things I want us to take note is that he says they seen having dinner. As well mentions that they were in a strange meeting. Also mentions that persons around could overhear them discussing contents of the said petition over there. And as well, he mentioned the fact that it can be easily verified. And so we are going to look at that particular verification. But pretty shortly before that, Thaddeus Sori, I told you earlier that the petition was set to be received on the 19th of May at exactly 4:13 p.m. The next morning, just in the wee hours of the May 20th, at exactly 5:34 a.m., there's Thaddeus Sori's Facebook post, and he says, it is a monstrous lie. No such meeting took place. It is very easy to fact-check that. We know those who get justice through negotiation. So that is Thaddeus Sori. But let's look at the CCTV footage that we have gotten from the said restaurant where the meeting supposedly happened. So you can see from the timestamp that it's at exactly 19 hours, 13 minutes, 48 seconds. You could see three people walking into the said restaurant. The first in a normal shirt and two behind in black suits. So the first person is believed to be Scott Poamang. The next after him is actually Yoni Kulendi, and the third being Justice Adibu Seidu. Now what we do have to understand is that Poamang and Adibu Seidu are with the committee probing the removal process. And the third person, being Justice Yoni Kulendi, is not with the committee. Let's look at the next one. So you can see now people seated. And let's look at the arrangements of persons there. The first person going, you can see Thaddeus Sori is the man with the shiny back you can see in the suit seated over there. You can see Thaddeus Sori seated in a meeting with Kote Ejani. You could see the first justice walk past him without acknowledging him. And then Kote Ejani stops Yoni Kulendi, as you all can see, and has a short tete-a-tete with Yoni Kulendi and introduces Thaddeus Sori to him. And then he just hugs him. Then he moves. So you can see on my screens now. So he moves past him, and then Thaddeus Sori leaves his very seating area with Kote Ejani and goes there, takes a bow, initially shakes Scott Poamang, greets Adibu Seidu, makes a bow, and then leaves there. And the final handshake you can see between him and Gabriel Scott Poamang, and then he speaks to, he tries to make contact back with Yoni Kulendi again. He does that, says hi, and then moves away from the delegation over there. You can see Yoni Kulendi engaging with other people and comes back to his seat to continue whatever conversation he was having with Kote Ejani. Now, if you can see the timestamp that we all saw over here, look at it. It's at 19 hours, 14 minutes. Let's look at how long this entire discourse took. So we are counting down the seconds. Just watch.
And they're just seeing
exchanging pleasantries. You could see the first justice missed him. The second one actually was greeted by Kote Ejani. And then Thaddeus Sori moves to exchange pleasantries again with Poamang, Adibu Seidu, and then comes back. Remember, the timestamp was 19 hours, 14 minutes, 1 second. Takes the bow, greets again, another bow, and then back steps, tries to make contact again with Yoni Kulendi. He does that, says hi or something, and then walks back to his seating position. All we can see from this video is that it's an exchange that took less than a minute, actually 59 seconds, because we started at 01 and we ended at 15. It was just 59 seconds. So the critical questions that we need to access, I mentioned earlier that we need to pull this entire thing into 4 pieces. The petitioner in her statement said that it was a dinner. Is this a dinner? The second thing he mentions is that it was a strange meeting. We need to ask ourselves, is this meeting exactly strange? Is this a place where you'd ordinarily have justices and lawyers going there to eat and talk? Or this could be a regular encounter where I decide to go and eat at a restaurant and I see someone there. The third thing that we need to look at is that it said they can be overheard discussing contents of the petition. From this video, they were exchanging pleasantries. Does this tell us that there is a discussion of a petition? The fourth one says we can easily verify. That is what is in the petition. We are easily checking. The timestamp is 19 hours 15. That's 7:15 p.m. This is what we have seen. And so, based on this, these are the questions. You decide. Does this look like a dinner between people discussing something? Is this a strange meeting? Can you overhear them when they talk, discussing the contents of a petition? This is what we have. This is the CCTV footage we have gotten. And per our own independent checks, this is all we can speak to. But you, as a viewer, get to decide as what it is. So that's it. That puts in context the petition that we are discussing.
Right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Ejabin. He is with our research desk, bringing us up to speed with the details of the CCTV. But let's find out what's the implication of this video. Would it add or subtract anything from this petition in question? Let's have a conversation with lawyer Wayo Ganamanti, and he joins me on the bulletin to pick his thoughts on this. Good to have you on the program. I mean, it's no news that judges and lawyers meet in public to exchange pleasantries. Now, considering the high-profile nature of this case, should these personalities have avoided the public engagement?
Good evening to your cherished viewers. I think the answer is a big no. A big no, because then you are trying to move the personalities out of the settings of ordinary human beings. We have all watched the video, and before today's video, if we're listening to the Adenta Kumi person, the guy, I listened to him on one of your sister stations, and the way he was putting across the issues, you can see that the video has just brought to bear entirely something different. You see people walk in and they are judges, and before they walk in, Tadeo Story was already in there. And what Tadeo Story did is what we call in law a respect to the bench. Some other lawyers would have just sat in their seat, just acknowledge the judge's passing, not their head, and then forget about them. But Thaddeus, we all know, Thaddeus is a very open person, a very controversial person, and a very stern person. But when it comes to his humility, you could see, he walked and went to just acknowledge the judges. Another lawyer would have just sat in his seat. So this CCTV we have seen, clearly it's quite different from what the petitioner has today. And I think the petitioner is trying to deceive the president. We must be very careful how these things are done in this country because of politics. I'm a CPP man, but I'm very much disappointed in the man who has petitioned. He's trying to deceive the president.
Why are you disappointed in the petitioner?
I'm disappointed because, like your colleague just enumerated, the grounds of the petition, everything he said is totally different from what we have seen in this video. It was not a dinner. It was not any secret meeting. It's just a public space where some other human beings, yes, they are judges, they walk in and yes, somebody was there and it was a lawyer. Are you saying because if a lawyer and a judge
But then considering the high-profile nature of this case and the persons involved in this, I asked you earlier that should this meeting could have been avoided, and you said no. For clarity, no as in they shouldn't have met in public, or no as in what exactly?
No, because there's nothing wrong with the meeting as we have seen in the video.
Right.
Imagine they were all church members of one church. I think because there is a high-profile case, and a certain judge is on that case, and the lawyer is also the lawyer in the case, and they are in the church. When they meet in the church settings, I think the lawyer should just ignore the judge. No, it doesn't work that way. What we are seeing in the video is entirely different from what the petitioner has put on paper. And that's why I'm saying that this petitioner seeks to be on the tangent or trajectory of trying to deceive the president of the republic. I am a CPP person. I will not vote for NDC or MPP person, but this he has put out there as a petition. And the CCTV we are seeing are two different stories. He's trying to deceive the president of the land.
And to some extent, you believe that this release of the video, this particular video, will not add anything to the reasons or the concerns he's raising?
In fact, it has come to to more or less, I would say, rubbish his petition entirely. Because the grounds of what we look at, and if you look at the grounds that your colleague just enumerated to your viewers and to Ghana and the world, it's quite different from what we are seeing in the CCTV camera. So technically, the CCTV camera has come to put more light, and it has shredded his petition.
Okay.
So all that it takes away from the petition. It makes the petition now a bogus petition that has no grounds.
Okay, thank you so much, lawyer Wayo Ganamanti, for giving us your thoughts on this particular matter. But let's stay on the Chief Justice and issues related to her, because she has made her first appearance before the 5-member committee established by President John Dramani Mahama to investigate 3 petitions seeking her removal from office. She was absent from the committee's inaugural meeting on May 15, but attended the second meeting on May 20 today, accompanied by her counsel, including former Attorney General Joseph Ayikwe-Otu. Notably, on May 21, the suspended CJ, through another former Attorney General, Godfred Yeboadami, filed a suit challenging the committee's composition, led by Justice Gabriel Kwaman. Star News gathered that the Chief Justice team informed the committee about the Supreme Court's action, but the committee had not been served with the court processes at the time. Let's go over the phone line and speak to our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala Inusa. Mutala, good to have you on the program. Hello, Mutala. If you can hear me, we want to find out what next. When is the next time they are having the sitting?
Awisi, Dede, if you can hear me, the panel indeed had a second meeting today, and the understanding in that the lady Chief Justice made her first appearance before the committee, but the fact that there have been some actions filed at the Supreme Court. Remember yesterday, we did tell you about the fact that the Chief Justice, through the former Attorney General, Godfred Yeboadami, has issued a writ at the Supreme Court. On top of that, it's filed an interlocutory injunction application on top of that, seeking to halt the committee's processes as at now, until such time that his concerns in the application or the writ filed is dealt with. And the understanding is that once she missed the very first sitting last week, Thursday, the committee was not happy with that particular issue or absence. A subpoena was issued yesterday, serving on her that she should appear before the committee today. Rightly so, the understanding is that she made an appearance, she made her first appearance, and in fact, this time around, she was being led by former Attorney General in the person of Joseph Ayikwe-Otu, and they brought to the attention of the committee that they have filed processes at the apex court of the land, and of that matter, they are praying or urging the committee to put on hold whatever hearing that is supposed to take place. My understanding is that the committee at the time also said that they have not received processes filed at the Supreme Court, and so the case, our hearing, was therefore adjourned to tomorrow, Friday, May 23, hoping that by that time the committee would have received whatever processes have been filed at the Supreme Court. And so once that case has been adjourned to tomorrow, that is what the committee is hoping to see. But the checks that I have made indicates that as we speak, the committee has officially received the processes filed by Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo at the Supreme Court. So it looks like tomorrow's hearing or sitting will be a formality where it will be officially told that because of the processes at the Supreme Court, hearing will have to be put on hold until such time that the Supreme Court dealt with the matter. But what is key is that the lady Chief Justice today appeared before the committee for the first time. All
right. Thank you so much, Mutala Inusa, our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala Inusa there. But once regarded as the highest judicial authority, Ghana's suspended Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo, now finds herself at the center of mounting controversy, facing intense public scrutiny and calls for her removal from office. The pressure has been unrelenting, with multiple petitions challenging her conduct and questioning her competence on the highest judicial seat. The work of the probing committee set up by President Mahama is also under serious contention following the interlocutory injunction filed by the CJ. Here is everything we know about her suspension and her suit against her removal.
President John Dramani Mahama is a man of many firsts. He was the first to ascend the presidency while still serving as vice president under the Fourth Republic. The first to return for a second non-consecutive term. The first to appoint a female vice president. And now, he's added another unprecedented chapter to Ghana's political history. The first president to suspend a sitting Chief Justice. The move came in April 2025 when President Mahama suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo after 3 petitions were filed against her, their contents still undisclosed to the public. A committee was swiftly set up to investigate, triggering immediate backlash from a section of the public and plunging the nation into uncharted legal and political waters. Opposition parties, led by the New Patriotic Party, strongly condemned the suspension, accusing the president of abusing his power and attempting to control the judiciary.
A bold attempt by Mr. President to nominate out of the blue 7 judges to the Supreme Court is the first major attempt at all that they have rehearsed, a 3rd-term agenda.
But the president's supporters argue that the suspension is a necessary step to investigate allegations against the Chief Justice and ensure a clean judiciary. Things took a turn after the Ghana Bar Association demanded the unsealing of the prima facie determination that led to the CJ's suspension. But Deputy Attorney General Justice Remsai warned that releasing such documents would violate the Constitution.
As far as we are concerned, the Constitution does not allow any person to publish the proceedings or the petition or the decision of the Council of State in collaboration, in consultation with the President. That decision is not part of the things that are allowed by the Constitution to put out there. So we will continue to respect the provisions of the Constitution.
Now, in a bold counterattack, Chief Justice Torkornoo has filed an injunction at the Supreme Court to halt the committee's proceedings, setting the stage for a high-stakes legal battle with constitutional implications. But not everyone believes this was the right move. Take, for instance, former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kwaku Ansah-Asare, who has described the move as unwise and ultimately more damaging than beneficial. Now the battle has shifted to the courtroom. This clash isn't just legal. It's constitutional, political, and historical. Whether it ends in vindication, reversal, or a whole new precedent, one thing is certain. Ghana's democracy is being tested, and the gavel hasn't dropped yet.
Your name?
John Dramani Mahama.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Well, tonight on Insight, we've been looking into petitions seeking to dissolve the committee instituted to probe the Chief Justice removal. And the latest being a supposed CCTV video that my colleague Emmanuel Ejabin brought to you and is in the studio with more on it.
Yeah, so the day earlier we told you the context of the petition that was brought to the presidency. The context suggesting that 3 justices were 2 being members of the committee, and we tried to put to you visually what the person was trying to describe. But these are the facts of the case. The facts of the case is that it's actually 1 member of the committee that was seen actually in this video. And that person is neither Gabriel Scott Kwaman, it is actually Justice Adibu Esedu. The next person there is Emmanuel Kolendi, who is actually not part of the committee. And so the plainclothes person over there, suspected previously was whoever it is, plainclothes person over there is actually lawyer Henry Anthony Kofi. So it is not any person any other person on the committee. It's just Adibu Seidu, who is the Justice of the Supreme Court, who is with the committee. That is actually seen in the video. The other two persons over there, we have Yoni Kulendi, the one in the plainclothes suit actually is Lawyer Henry Anthony Kofi, and not any other justice. So it was only one justice of the committee that is actually, we can tell from this video, that was present at Santoku on that said night.
Right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Ejabin, for giving us that clarity. That brings us to the end of East Side here on GHOne TV. You're welcome back. This is still News Tonight here on GHOne TV. Now to some good news. The Vice President, Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, this afternoon returned home from London, United Kingdom, where she traveled for medical treatment. She was welcomed at the airport by President John Dramani Mahama, First Lady, Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, and the Vice President's Chief of Staff, Alex Sebefia, and other senior government officials. Also at the airport were the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church and family members of the Vice President. In her brief remarks, the Vice President thanked Ghanaians for their prayers, sent her appreciation to her doctors and the medic staff at the UGMC, and celebrated President Mahama and Ibrahim Mahama for their support, thoughtfulness, and care. Trees is so happy. It's a happy day at the presidency today because the Vice President, Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, returns home from the UK after she traveled to the UK for medical treatment. She was welcomed by the President, John Dramani Mahama, as well as the First Lady, and Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, and also the Vice President's Chief of Staff there.
Been traveling out of the country has been difficult. They've threatened to impeach me for for going to Togo when you were away. So you are warmly welcome. We are grateful to all the staff outside there who looked after you. Our embassy staff in London. I came there myself, and you told me how courteous they had been and how they had been of help. But I think in all this, it raises the issues of us improving our health care so that we can handle emergencies like this. We built a quintennial hospital, which is the UGMC, but it's still not at the stage where it can handle some of these cases. And so it's a call to duty that we should implement it the way Professor Mills had intended it to be, so that in future things like this can be, emergencies like this can be handled, without us having to fly out. But we're happy to have you. The doctors say you are 20 years younger and that you are okay and fit for the job. But we'll ask that you take it easy for a little while, and afterwards we'll see how things go. So thank you very much on behalf of all our colleagues, on behalf of all Ghanaians. I'm sure today Ghanaians will be very happy.
I want to say thanks to God. His mercies have been infinite, as always, and I'm very grateful. I express gratitude to the medical staff too, for seeing the right thing, for making the right proposals. And to my boss, that day, I don't know where you appeared from, but he came and quickly set in motion what we needed to do. And I also want to thank all of you, your prayers, for your good wishes. I can't be thankful enough. I'm very grateful. But I need to isolate, beyond family and friends, your brother, Mr. Ibrahim. He stopped at nothing to ensure that I had what I needed. And then he also came to the hospital. He came to sit by me, and that was healing by itself. So, my little boss, I'm very, very grateful. So I'm very happy to be back. And there's so much that has happened that we all need to do. And I know that with our collective we'll do much more for our country.
Now, from some good news from the presidency, let's go to the Western region, where some chiefs in Galamsey-Reddit area in the Western region are calling for stiff punishment, including arrest and imprisonment of farmers who willfully sell off their cocoa farms for mining. They are worried that immediate gains of such transactions will threaten the sustainability of livelihood in their community. They would rather mining companies support cocoa farmers with incentives to boost yields and make cocoa farming an attractive alternative. My colleague from Ultimate FM, Ivan Heathcote-Fumado, has more in this report.
Ghana's cocoa yields have sharply dwindled from a record high of over 1 million tons in the year 2021 to a low of less than 500,000 tons in the year 2024. Cardinal among the causes is farmers selling off their cocoa lands to both small and large-scale miners, a development that has become rife at the Apinto traditional area of the Takwan-Soya municipality of the Western region. Chief Farmer Joseph Potofe tells GHOne News chiefs, landowners and farmers are complicit.
Galamsey for no bawa funuma machine be mienu miensa untimi stop wom no ma hia se edi nti wukohu pasa asira wasu nananom na edi amanti onu de wuntumi nka ho hwe nananom na edi amade na wo woka na yensu ya jaimu.
Though government has indicated its strongest desire to stiffen laws around the purchase and destruction of commercial trees, the traditional authority in the area is demanding tougher sanctions to preserve cocoa farming which has sustained the community for generations.
In the fight against galamsey, one of the things that government should bring up, which I would strongly support, is to develop strong punitive measures for the sale of the land. This is a threat to our nation, and so there should be some sort of serious measures that will cause people not to sell.
Now back to Accra, some commercial drivers who ply the roads in front of the Ghana Cocoa Board have expressed satisfaction with the decongestion exercise being carried out by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly on the third day of the exercise. According to them, the improved flow of traffic has contributed to an increase in the number of trips they complete in a day, leading to significant daily sales. There's more in this report.
The third day of the exercise has been characterized by vendors showing considerable compliance due to enhanced sensitization and the deployment of an additional task force stationed at various locations, resulting in success of the exercise. In an interaction with some commercial drivers, it was revealed that the exercise has contributed to increased daily margins.
Traffic and above swat to question more am I? The beboy pa. Aboy man, to talk boy back because why? Because we can't do what them. Young moment to but at least no. Also, Bob more payment to can be a man for Spania but obey schedule back when do what them.
Due to the absence of traffic congestion, pedestrians are not left out of the relief the exercise has brought to the capital city. For Mami Abena, sustainability must be prioritized in order not to undermine the success of the exercise.
Today I realized that the cars are able to move freely, and I'm just told there's been a decongestion exercise that has gone on here. So I think that I was even trying to meet my dispatch, and he was grumbling initially because he felt that there was a lot of traffic on this stretch. But within a short minute, he's been here, and I think that it's also helping with business because.
Well, if you've been following the news in the past few days, then you should be aware of the decongestion exercise in the capital, which has got many traders up in arms with officials of the AMA. But while the capital is taking steps to address its congestion woes, other areas like Kaswa in the central region are struggling with similar challenges. In this following report, my colleague Nurain took a trip to the bustling town of Kaswa, where essential social amenities like traffic lights have been practically swallowed by makeshift tents and sheds, highlighting the challenges faced by the rapidly growing town.
Welcome to Kaswa's central business district, where the art of congestion and makeshift markets by the road have reached new heights. From a distance, one can easily spot traders and market women briskly conducting business on the walkways, leaving pedestrians with no option than to descend onto the streets, competing with vehicles for space. And should you get tired of competing with vehicles and begin to look for a traffic light to make it easy for you, you may need to put in extra effort looking for one. After all, what's the congested market without a few non-functioning traffic lights? After a thorough search, I finally spot one, completely swallowed up by sheds and tents, making it nearly impossible to be seen by drivers and commuters. To make it worse, none of these traffic lights function.
The traffic light wasn't working. That we know that. But in as much as it was not working, the shade was not supposed to be done in that manner.
So if the shade is not supposed to be done in that manner, why did your people mount the tent in the first place?
My people mounting the tent was on a good idea, but the engineer or the architect who did this job did not take that into consideration. And that is what has made this thing happen. So in the idea of making this tent was to create a shade and to create a uniform beautification for Kaswa pavements.
This has been the case for months, with no clear solution in sight. until a viral video sparked a conversation online, jolting officials from the Ewutu-Senya East Municipal Assembly from their slumber to take action.
The situation has been brought under control immediately. It had to do with some traders covering the traffic lights and other traffic signs with road signs with their protruded canopies, which we have removed the immediate one and giving them ultimatum up to next week Monday to clear every canopy there. I had full report on the traffic light situation, which I asked them to write to National, because for my inquiry, most of the issues here are being handled by National.
Call it a threat or a caution, but it appears that in this country, one can practically get away with anything without any form of action from authorities. For now, it remains to be seen whether these tents will still be here by the Assembly's Monday deadline. Trust us, our cameras will not stop rolling. Lorraine Abbas, GHOne TV and Star FM.
It's time for business now. And in business, Ghana's producer price inflation has dropped to 18.5% in April 2025, down from 24.4% recorded in March 2025, according to the data released by Ghana Statistical Service. This 5.9% point decline marks the third consecutive monthly drop in producer inflation. On a month-on-month basis, average prices that producers received for their goods and services fell by 0.8% in April compared to March. The GSS attributed the slowdown primarily to easing inflation pressures in the mining and manufacturing sectors, which are critical to Ghana's industrial growth. The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, has welcomed the decline, describing it as a reflection of improving microeconomic conditions in the country. President of AGI, Gertrude, noted that an improved microeconomic environment fosters business confidence and stability, allowing businesses to plan effectively and thrive.
Inflation is calculated and is very much determined by the producer price index, and I think for some time now we've experienced stability in the economy. We've seen the cedi gaining some weight, and there has been encouragement to companies, to businesses, to traders to reduce prices. And as the price reduction is going down, then we expect to see a reduction in the PPI. So I think it's a reflection of the improved macroeconomic conditions that we are having, and we welcome it. I think it's a positive development. Whenever there is improvement in the macroeconomic environment, it brings confidence, it brings stability. When the environment is stable, they can plan. On the basis of the planning, they can expand. And when they expand, they employ more people.
The Apento-Jasehene Naana III has called on Goldfields Ghana Limited to channel more resources into reclaiming degraded lands for cocoa farming, positioning it as a sustainable alternative to combat the environmental impact of illegal mining activities. His appeal comes on the heels of the launch of a program by the Goldfield Ghana Foundation in Takwa, which aims at empowering farmers.
Cocoa prices soaring globally, local farmers still struggle to reap the full benefits due to poor soil health and land degradation. Nana Dr. Dakwa Bediakun believes that targeted rehabilitation of cocoa farms destroyed by illegal mining, backed by initiatives like this, can significantly enhance incomes and living conditions for affected communities.
It's long overdue that the people of Ghana will come together and ensure that lands that have been used for say, are not left bare, but be used again for cocoa plantation. We think that there is still hope in making sure we increase our production by reclaiming those lands. I think those as an organization have done very well for communities. And I think this is another direction that they can take, and as part of supporting cocoa to actually help the country by helping in reclaiming the land.
Goldfields Ghana Foundation first introduced the Cocoa Farmers Support Program in Damang in 2018. Following its success, The initiative is now being replicated in Tarkwa to drive similar impact. Manager of Goldfields Tarkwa Mine, Catherine Kuto, acknowledged that although cocoa farming has long been part of the local economy, its success has been limited. She expressed hope that the new support program would help chart a narrative.
The study identified challenges in inputs, pest management, finance, and then labor. The Cocoa Farmers Support Program will address these gaps by providing the farmers with inputs, linking them to credit through the Prom Credit Union, and promoting climate-smart agroforestry and integrated pest management.
Deputy CEO of Cocoa Board, Ato Boateng, commended the foundation for its efforts, saying it aligns with Cocoa Board's renewed focus under its current leadership to revitalize the cocoa sector.
That ends business. It's time for sports now.
Sports now, and we start with Ghana's #1 sports shop, Decathlon. They've launched the celebration of their 8th anniversary in a short ceremony held at the shop's Accra Mall branch on Wednesday. The launch also sought to reveal the shop's international partnership with UEFA for the Europa and Conference League finals. There's more in the following report by Jones Aji.
Decathlon, who are dealers in high-quality sports gear covering over 70 sports disciplines, have been in operation in Ghana since 2017. Globally recognized as the trusted shop for Adidas, Nike and Puma gears, the shop has over the years delivered affordable sports products and services to a wide range of customers. Event and marketing manager of Decathlon Ghana, Thompson Agbodo, speaking at the launch, says the shop has come a long way in serving customers with quality sports apparel and equipment. Mr. Agbodo then announced a 50% discount on all Adidas products and a 10% discount on every product as part of the celebrations.
Decathlon Ghana is celebrating ACS with mouth-watering offers today across all our stores, Junction Mall, West Hills Mall, and Accra Mall. With any item that you pick in our stores, you get a 10% flat discount on any item that you buy in our stores today from the 21st of May to the 1st of June. It's going to be 10 long days of exciting discounts. 10% discounts on anything you buy in our store, Decathlon product, and then 50% discount on any Adidas item that you pick in our stores. Yes, 50% discount on any Adidas item that you pick in our stores. On top of that, you get a free customization from us. You get free servicing for your bicycles and your machines, because Decathlon has made itself a sports for all unit, a place where you can get all your affordable accessories and equipment to make sure you can enjoy and make sports a great deal for you.
Meanwhile, some customers of Decathlon who were present at the launch have expressed their satisfaction with the quality product and services offered by the shop.
About 2 years now, yeah, and I think the products are good. Anytime I buy from there, I think it's what I want. Maybe I'll get some Adidas product in addition to what I have.
Oh, this is my first time. Oh, very great. They give me 10% discount. If you want to buy anything there, if you come here on some, yeah.
I've been coming to Decathlon ever since they came to Ghana. That's about 8 years ago. They have very nice stuff, very quality stuff. So it's like a family shop of all of us. For my husband, myself, and the children. I always pass by every now and then to see what they have in stock. And with this promotion, we just came by again to see what we can get out of the promo. That's why we are here.
Outside Ghana, England, France, Thailand, yeah, you can get quality goods, always the same product prices around the world, always guaranteed.
10-day promo on product at the Decathlon shop will be available at their branches at Accra, West Hills and Junction Malls, spanning from the 21st of May to the 1st of June.
Let's do something on CAF now. And CAF has officially unveiled the brand new trophy for the CAF Champions League. The ceremony was held on Thursday, May 21, at the Total Energies offices in Joburg. This launch follows the recent renewal of the sponsorship deal between CAF and Total Energies, securing the energy giants partnership with CAF's interclub competitions for another 4 years. The unveiling comes just days after the first leg of the Champions League finals, scheduled for May 24 at the Loftus Versfeld Stadium. This new trophy marks the start of an exciting chapter for African club football as CAF continues its efforts to raise international stature for its interclub tournaments. All right, before we go, let's do something on Luka Modric now. And the Real Madrid legend is now saying goodbye with his club. So Luka Modric is retiring from Real Madrid after years with the club. All right, this is exclusive tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. is a one-on-one interview we had with the president of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Kets E.S. Okreku. Monica sat with him. We were looking at the future of the Ghana Football Association so far.
With the kind of pitches that we play our domestic leagues on?
Our stadium has improved a lot. Our pitches have improved a lot. Look at our investment of close to $742,000 in the construction of the first ever FIFA AstroTurf on the soil of Big Boss Secondary School. Unbelievable. There is a need for more investment in the maintenance of our stadia. But on the journey to rebuilding our sport in general, we'll have good times and we'll have bad times. And the Black Stars have gone through some bad times, they've gone through some good times. The systematic investments we're making is gradually paying off.
Back in the days, under 17, they transitioned to under 20, then to 23, and then to the Black Stars. But these days, it's quite difficult. We don't see the transitioning properly.
So when I'm asked this question, sometimes I try to be sarcastic, sometimes I try to be very nice, and sometimes I try to joke. Normally, I wouldn't want to react, to be honest with you, especially in public. But every Black Stars player has a Ghanaian account. If you insult me, okay. But if you defame me, I will not take it lightly, and I do not take it lightly. So if I'm not a thief and you're calling me a thief, then we will have problems.
Talking about women's football, it's become so attractive.
So when the last time you scored a goal?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Sure you don't miss this one tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. exactly. That's all for sports. Over to you, Dede.
Thank you so much, Joel, for bringing us sports news. Now, before I go, the Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana have called off their strike after the Finance Ministry approved revised allowances. We'll bring you more stories on that in our subsequent bulletin. You can also join us on StarFMOnline.com. My name is Awisi Dede Djangay. Have a wonderful evening.